when I knew I became mature, when I knew I had finally became a man, I had got to a point in my life where I had said that I was able to forgive my father for whatever shortcomings that I thought that he had. Because when I was growing up, thinking dad and I blamed him. Any situation that went wrong, I thought, this is your fault. What I'm saying, you should have did this, you should have did that. You know, whatever it was, he was the direct, in my mind, the direct blame. But when I got older, and I became mature enough to become a man, it came to the realization to me that if my father didn't do everything that he did the exact way that he did it, and it happened the way that it happened, that I wouldn't be, at all who I am now, possibly even born. And I realized he had a father that happened with, and that father had a father. So I realized that I had to come to a place of forgiveness, for my father and forgive him and just know that this is a relationship between me and God, more so. And and so that you said something to the same effect, that you came to a place of forgiving your father. If you just elaborate on that real quick before we close up, because I thought that was beautiful. And I think so many young men out there need to understand what that even means.
For sure. Especially in the aspect of young men, I think even with young women, they have to. I think kids need to forgive their parents. That's a big part of it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Some of our parents did their best and failed. Some of our parents didn't try much and failed. Some didn't try much and succeeded. It's difficult, and it takes a long time before you realize your parents aren't just your parents; they're whole people. And in the story of his life, he was the main character. He wasn't just somebody's father. If anything, he was somebody's father for a shorter portion of his life. You know what I mean? Even while we was his kids, there was so much that was going on, and so much that he suffered from in his childhood, and things that he went through that's insane, and created the person that he was. And it's again, it's generational trauma, and like in that understanding, there's forgiveness, and I forgave him a long time ago. I had to, like, and I had to learn how to forgive him while he wasn't here, which was unique. You know what I mean? Because it's as I don't know if it's easier to forgive someone where you could talk to them and ask them the reasons why, or things like that. But I had to learn how to forgive them in other ways, and through that forgiveness came an understanding of self, that you also have to learn how to forgive yourself. There's so much blame that you put out into the world, or I'm this way because of this person, but ultimately your all your choices, your life is exactly the result of all your choices, and there's no way around that. Some choices are easier to make than others, and some people have easier choices in front of them, but ultimately you have to make those choices for yourself. So if you're able to forgive your parents, then you're able to stop blaming them, and then you start looking within and you start realizing, okay, I'm in control of my life, I could do this. And then you forgive yourself because you're so hard on yourself. Like, I'm probably harder on myself than anybody else is. So it's one of those things. Forgive them, forgive yourself, and forgive the world. Like, through forgiveness, you'll find those good paths, and I think that's really powerful, because a lot of people walk around with anger inside of them. A lot of people walk around with doubt and self hatred, and so many things are going on with people's mental health these days, and don't feel like they're good enough. And it's really hard to survive right now. But I think you gotta forgive yourself, forgive your parents, forgive the world, forgive the people around you, and really, really feel that forgiveness and move forward with hope and with love. And I know it sounds simple, but it's a lot more difficult than people think to just have hope when you wake up. But I think forgiveness is the start of that journey, and I'm midway through it. And I can tell you guys have so much wisdom inside of y'all from forgiving things in your past and becoming the people that y'all always needed. And I aspire to be that as well. And hopefully anybody watching, they feel that they're able to become a better version of themselves that they always dreamed of. And again, forgive yourself, forgive your parents, and love yourself. I would say that for sure.
That's amazing, brothers. Like I said, just a conversation with you, it's clear to see you have a high spirit conscious.